What's up, everyone? It's Thursday, and as always, this is the Late Night Agenda, and you are very welcome along to tonight's stream. It's always a pleasure to be on here chatting with Reds from around the world. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing today. I know I don't seem like it. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. There's so much stuff going on. My phone's vibrating. Things are crazy today. How the hell is everyone? I hope we're all going well. I hope life's treating you well. I hope wherever you're watching in the world, the sun is shining. The birds are singing, and we're signing players that are going to be more than 20 million. We'll get to that. Park it up. We'll get there in a second. As always, guys, look, pleasure to see you. Pleasure to have you in. I always love to see that the chat's buzzing before I come on. What do we want to start with tonight? Anything you guys want to talk about in particular, please do let me know. This is your show. I'm doing very good, guys. Thank you for asking. I can see a lot of comments going on. I'm good, thank you very much. I hope you're all doing well. Look, there's a couple of things we can talk about. Obviously, we announced our first signing of the summer today. We'll get to that. You're probably wondering what the hell the thumbnail about is, where we say expect no big money signings. I promise you, I will explain that very soon as well. Who are we signing? Who are we signing? Who are we signing? We'll get to it. You guys give me a topic you want to talk about and we'll start from there. We might as well start with the big news of the day, I suppose, which is the Reds have completed the signing of highly rated 17-year-old Dutch centre-back Sepp van den Berg from PEC Zwolle. I love saying his name already, I have to say. Sepp van den Berg, that is just a great name, just rolls off the tongue. It's believed that the initial fee is around £1.3 million, but it could rise to above £4 million. But here's the kicker on this one. That's after he makes 350 appearances for the Reds. I believe that's senior appearances as well. And another interesting part on this, I don't know if you guys seen it, Bayern Munich attempted to hijack this deal right at the last second. They attempted to get some, even when he was doing his medical at Liverpool, they looked to try and hijack this deal and get him over there. That's how highly this kid is thought of around Europe. So I would ignore the price tag on this guy. I'd ignore the fact he's 17 years of age. If tweets are to be believed, I can't remember if this was Mel Reddy or if it was David Maddock or somebody else. Somebody tweeted anyway to say expect him to come in as basically fourth choice or pushing for a fourth choice centre back, that the club rate him that highly that they're going to try and fast track his progress through already. So there you go. Welcome to the club, by the way, Sepp van den Berg. Always great to know that the club are going out there and getting good young talent. We've got him, we've got Kiana Hoover, we've got Joe Gomez, 3 centre backs there that are between the ages of 17 and 22, something like that. Class, absolutely class. Keep that coming. Let's not forget, it might not be easy to get excited about a signing of up to £4 million, but let's remember what we signed Andy Robertson for. Sometimes it isn't about going out and spending a shit ton of money to get the right players in. I want to know what you guys think. I'm sure you guys have been Googling, watching videos all day of this kid since he signed. Forget about this new centre-back 3 or 4 years down the line. No, he's for now, Max. That's what I'm after saying, mate. He is for now. He isn't for 3 or 4 years down the line. He is coming in to challenge for the fourth choice centre-back spot. That's, what I'm reading anyway. It frustrates me that AC Milan could get Fekir for 25 million. Aaron, I'm with you, mate. It pisses me off as well. 26.7 million, I think, is the figure that I'd seen yesterday, and they're trying to use Suso as a make weight in that deal. Now, if there's one thing we do know is AC Milan have to kind of watch themselves with regards to FFP and stuff. They did have a European ban that was overturned, so they are being monitored. It's very odd, to get rid of Suso, a kid who's been doing kind of well for them. If I'm Suso, I'm pissed off at hearing this, I gotta say. We've been linked to Suso very vaguely, but I always thought maybe Spurs or somewhere like that for him. But would you be happy if you're Suso trying to be used in a make weight in the deal for Lyon, for Nabil Fekir? So it'll be interesting to see what happens on this. And I do have some stuff on Fekir that I'll get through in a couple of minutes. Craig, do you expect a big money signing since Stephen O'Connor? I expect a quality signing, a signing for the attacking end of the field. I'll get to my explanation in a second, mate. I do expect us to go on and add. I will be upset if we don't go out and add an attacking player. I have to say, I'm not going to lie about it. As much as I do trust Klopp, of course you have to. How could you not on the business that he's done? And Michael Edwards and the rest of the team. I do think it would be a little bit foolish of us to look at our front three and then look at Divock, Origi and Brewster as the backup. Shaqiri's obviously there, Lallana could step in, Oxlade-Chamberlain could step in, but if we're talking about, new blood coming through and stuff, it's a bit of a drop off still for me from the front three if one or two of them were to pick up an injury, but I do believe we'll do something. I really do. I know the word coming out from the media is very limited, don't expect big money signings, and look, I'll get on to that because you're probably wondering what the thumbnail is about, so let me get to it. David Maddock of the Mirror has tweeted something earlier on after the Sepp van den Berg signing, and it's not something that we probably all want to hear. So what he said was, and this is an exact quote of his tweet, "Don't shoot the messenger, but if Liverpool make any more signings this summer, as things stand, they really won't be 60 to 70 million high profile players. Slight possibility of a versatile forward/wide man, but likely to be around 20 million mark or less." Now, what do you interpret that as? Do you interpret that as we're working on something? Maybe that the wide forward/front man is a deal we're working on, and that the figure put out there of 20 million quid would suggest, let's say, Nabil, Fekir, Ziyech, somebody of that ilk that can be got for, I think Ziyech 30 million euro, something like that. So what's that, 26, 27 million pound? So is that what we're to believe? But then again, people have quote tweeted me and showed me stuff, and I like David Maddock as a journalist actually. But people have showed me stuff where he said we're not interested in Alice and we're not interested in other players, and journalists don't always get things right. I'm somebody that always likes to try and take people at their word, and that people like David Maddock, like Melissa Reddy, like Chris Bascom, that like Paul Joyce, that they all post with the best intentions and honest intentions. But again, this is over to you guys. What do you think about this? If you've any questions or anything on that, please do hit me up on it as well. No Fernandes news, Mossy. Nothing that I've seen today at all, mate. Ben Washbrook said I'd be worried. Any more on Fernandes? Nope. Riley, nothing that I've seen. I know Mark's confident that he's going to United, but I don't know. Ziyech will be a steal for 25 million. I think he's Premier League ready, said Aaron Monarch. There was something on Ziyech that I had, so bear with me on this one. Where's the Ziyech thing that I had? I'm going through my notes real quickly. I'd seen somewhere about Ziyech that there was an agreement in place or something that he could leave for 30 million euro, something like that. 20 million squids for Almiron of Newcastle. I don't think they're going to sell him already after getting him in that quickly. I'd rather Ziyech than Fekir, said Anthony Cronin. Why is that, mate? Is it the injury thing to Fekir, or you just rather Ziyech as a player? I'm always interested to know people's line of thinking. Sorry, I don't mean that to come across like I'm trying to belittle what you're saying. Just genuinely interested. What else we got? Mr. Leprechaun, how are you, sir? Welcome in. What did I miss, Craig, said Param. We're just basically celebrated the signing of Sepp van den Berg, mate, from PEC's Vola. Talking about the fee being 1.3 million, rising up to 4 million with 350 appearances, something along those lines, is one of the clauses in the contract. And it was also letting people know that Bayern Munich tried to hijack that deal right at the last minute. Even when he was at Melwood, they were trying to hijack that deal, apparently. Thinking about getting a Liverpool shirt with Robbo or Van Dijk on the back. Two great choices, Luke. Absolutely spot on, mate. I never advise people on what to get because I don't want to feel like I'm pushing stuff on people like that. What else we got? Dino Lad said, if you were manager of Liverpool and had an infinite budget, who would you sign? Mbappe. It's got to be Mbappe. Do you know what I mean? It's Mbappe. If there's one player in the world I could add to this team right now, it's Mbappe. I also said before that I really like Marco Verratti as a midfielder, but he's a little bit injury prone. But to me, he's almost a complete midfielder. If we don't sign a forward, Brewster must be better than we think. Well, look, Brewster, to my knowledge, Neil, is thought of extremely highly at the club. I'm expecting big things from him. And my issue here isn't that I don't think Brewster will be good enough. Far from it. I think Brewster is going to be world class. I just worry that, is it too much pressure for a kid of his age to be coming in? Sturridge has moved on, so we can almost say he is Sturridge's replacement. Origi, we'll get to Origi. I have a little bit of news on him as well. I just don't want too much pressure on Brewster's shoulders. Now, I don't know Brewster. Jurgen Klopp, this kid could be chomping at the bit for all I know, and Jurgen Klopp could be thinking to himself, I have an absolute superstar here, we don't need anybody. And if that's the case, then I think we should probably trust Klopp. But for me, with young players, we've seen time and time again that a lot of the time they burst onto the scene, they do really well, and then they need to be managed a little bit. They need to be pulled out, debriefed a little bit, introduced back into the team, and not to burn them out too young as well. So I kind of want to protect Ray and Brewster a little bit, which is why I think we do need to add in that forward. I'd go Ziyech, then Fekir, said don't ask. His knee is a worry. Yeah, but I don't know how much time has he missed this year with his knee? Is the problem with the knee really that he misses time during the seasons, or just the worry that the knee will just completely disintegrate again? That's where I am with this. I'm genuinely unsure. Jace Roberts said, a new signing surname makes me hungry. It's lovely to say, Jace, isn't it? Vandenberg. It's yeah, I like saying it. It's fun to say. Jace, what's your interpretation, buddy? Jace Roberts, by the way, for people in chat, somebody whose opinion I rate very highly. What's your opinion, Jace, on the stuff from David Maddock, mate, saying not to expect a 60 to 70 million pound sign and possibly a wide attacking player around the 20 million mark? Ryan Brewster will be brilliant, said Andy cleverly. I fully agree with you, my friend. Absolutely. I really want Fekir so much, said Joshua Hoy. Mate, I'm with you. I said before, I'm at the point now where if he's even nearly signing, I'm getting on and getting the Fekir shirt ordered. Champions of Europe, said Mad Skills. Yeah, we are, pal. Yeah, we are. Don't you ever fucking forget that either. 6 times champions of Europe. You can take that shit to the bank. Klopp clearly has the highest regard for Brewster, said Ishmael, and he seems like a confident lad too. He is class. I mean, I've no doubts about his ability. None whatsoever. It's just, he's a young man, and you would want him to be introduced gradually. He's only missed a few games, said Thomas Wirrich, with regards to Nabil Fekir. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. The worry that his knee will go again, yeah, I get that. It's the way it was rebuilt, I think, mate. Look, I'm fucking not a doctor or far from it, but I think there's roughly 2 ways I think that the knee can be rebuilt. I think one of the ways you get back playing quicker, but it may not last as long, or it may need to be redone, and the other way takes a longer rehabilitation process, but you tend to get a longer time out of it. And I think that unfortunately for Fekir, it was the first one that gets him back playing quicker. How's my night going? It's really good, thank you, mate. Really, really good. I might need your help a little bit later on as well with some recommendations for something. So remind me, guys. I'll get back to you on this. Have I watched any of the Women's World Cup? Indeed, I have, Aaron. Yes. I was watching some of the England game earlier on, but then I switched over and I watched a little bit of the Spain-Germany, or not Spain. Is it Spain-Germany? No, who are Spain playing? Spain-France. Sorry, Spain-France and the other 21s. Watching a bit of the AFCON earlier on, and by the way, I'm not sure if you guys watched the African Cup of Nations, but the few games I've seen, the standard of officiating is beyond shite. Like, it's terrible. Poor old Sadio Mane was fouled blatantly in the box today and didn't get a penalty. And you think to yourself, oh, we'll go to VAR then. Have a look at it in VAR, ref. They would, except VAR has only been used in the AFCON from the quarterfinals onwards, which in itself is shambolic. Why use something for half of a tournament? Now, I don't know if that's because certain stadia aren't set up for it. I don't know. But either way, this is a massive tournament. Like, can you imagine the Euros where we go, you know what, we're only going to have it in the quarterfinals. It was a blatant penalty, by the way. I'm sure you've seen it. Absolutely stonewall penalty. Poor old Sadio. Next year we'll be saying 7 times European champions. Let's not forget that it is in Istanbul. It is in the Ataturk Stadium next season, the Champions League final. So 15 years on from that famous night, we could be back there. Jay said, don't worry too much about it, mate. Reports saying don't expect much to be spent, but things can change. Journals cover their arses. Rather wait and judge when the window closes. I get where you're coming from on that, Jace. I'm just an impatient son of a bitch, mate. Do you know what I mean? I love transfers. England 3-0 up against Norway, said Aaron. Congratulations to the Lionesses. Looks like they're getting their way through to the next round. Pretty comprehensive victory as well. Just need to get Van de Beek from Ajax now, so Peter van der Schaans. I'm not going to lie, mate, I'd love him. The more I see of this kid, the more I watch, the more I look into him, the more I think he would be an ideal long-term replacement, as I've said previously, for Jordan Henderson and James Milner. He just seems to be that full of energy, box-to-box midfielder, a real Jurgen Klopp style of player. Now, I haven't seen many genuine links for us to him, but anybody who recommends him to me, I can understand where they're coming from. Cheers for the vids. They're very helpful to keep up with the transfers. My pleasure, mate. My pleasure. Is it Carthy? I wish I had better news at times, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna go clickbaity and come on and talk bullshit. I only ever talk about rumours that I actually see in the media. A friend of mine who's a sports physio is with Ghana over there. Wow, nice. Jace, I'm impatient too, love transfers, but I'm reassured by the last few windows, which keeps me calm. Yeah, I mean, we've got to be, Jason. You're right, mate. You've got to say that Hunter, Fallows, Edwards, Klopp, and the rest of the recruitment team have been absolutely top notch. They've got everything spot on. Edwards and Co have done enough there, and the trust of the supporters when it comes to transfers have got it spot on. Again, as usual, I agree with what Jace has to say. Craig, would you sell Lovren and buy Lascelles from Newcastle? I've no issues around Jamal Lascelles. I think he's an excellent athlete. I think it was Andy Heaton from the Anfield Rap said before that he actually comes from a family of athletes, I believe, Jamal Lascelles. I think I've got that right. So yeah, I'd have no problem getting him. I just wonder about the value in it, if you get where I'm coming from. It's Premier League clubs. You've seen the price of the transfers in this window already. Like, they're just nuts. Thoughts on Wan-Bissaka for United? Good quality signing, absolutely. Whether they overpaid or not, I don't know. I think only time will tell on that. But from a fan's perspective, probably don't give a shit what the cost was. They just want him to hit the ground running. So I'm not going to lie, Aaron Wan-Bissaka has good potential. He's a good fullback. Still learning, of course, but he is good. So it is a decent piece of business for them. 2 years ago, Brewster was as good as up top as Trent was a full-back. The stage is set, said Craig. And not this Craig, different Craig. And I agree. He did win didn't he win the Golden Boot or something at the Under-17s World Cup or something like that? Ryan Kent has been linked again to Leeds, said Douglas James Horn. We've spoke about him before. Again, I think Leeds originally looked at a loan for him, like Rangers, but that doesn't interest Ryan Kent from what I'm led to believe. Not the club, just a loan. I think he wants to get a permanent move somewhere where he can put down roots and start to establish himself. We spoke, Ryan Kent was linked with Leeds, Middlesbrough, Aston Villa and Rangers, of course. So, all good clubs. But Leeds, Villa, if he wants to stay in England, yeah, good show. Vandenberg will turn out to be like the Robertson signing, said Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, there's a lot of hype going into this, isn't there? From the club. And I mean that in a positive way. I'm not saying they're trying to spin anything. It looks like the club really, really are happy with getting this kid in. And it looks like, when you see other clubs around Europe really trying to get him. I mean, the amount of articles I've seen and posts I've seen from other clubs or from fans of other clubs who were talking about this kid before he was nailed onto Liverpool over the past few days, it's very encouraging. And the fact that young players now are looking at Liverpool, and we've seen before, how many times over the past couple of seasons have we seen stories where young British players are moving abroad because they don't think they can get a chance through Premier League clubs? Well, now we're looking at Liverpool, European champions, and kids are saying, yeah, I can go there, I can get through there. Jurgen Klopp will give me a chance if I prove myself. He's seen that. Sees it with Ryan Brewster, seen it with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Gomez, Curtis Jones, I suppose, to a lesser extent. And they know they'll get an opportunity here, which is great. And we need to be getting a mix of the best young players out there, because as much as we might be a little bit impatient at times, okay, sometimes if it takes 1 or 2 years, you're still getting in somebody who could save you millions and millions and could be here for the next 7, 8, 9 years. No to Lascelles, he's too short, said Varun. Don't really think. For me, I'm not arsed about height being an excuse for centre-backs. I mean, look at some of the greatest centre-backs, Cannavaro and stuff. I don't think he was that tall. Who else could I think of? Puyol. I don't think Puyol was that tall as a centre-back either. So there are some examples of centre-backs who have been world-class and not 6'6". Claire said, imagine, Craig, if you got Van der Beek too, it'll be great, yeah, it would. And let's not underplay the potential influence of Virgil van Dijk on these deals as well. Hello, Van Dijk, how are you, sir? Is Rabiot potential signing? No, he's gone to Juventus, mate. By the looks of it, I think they're just crossing the T's and dotting the I's at this point. It looks like he's going to Juventus. Anthony said, got my Liverpool jersey today with Anto on the back because everyone calls me Anto number 7 because that's my number of football. Nice one, mate. Delighted for you. It's a nice shirt, isn't it? The new shirt. Wear it with pride, my friend, which I'm sure you will. Vandenberg, a threat to Gomez. Yeah, in a good way. Probably, Stephen, in a good way, though. It's always good to have that competition there. I feel we really owe Southampton and should probably sell Lallana to them. They owe us, actually, for one. As things stand, mate. They owe us 20 million for Danny Ings, so that'll be coming in. Baresi said, don't ask. Yeah, I'd seen this, Joanne. What is this stuff doing the rounds about Aubameyang to United? I'd seen Mark tweet something earlier on to say, why would United be linked to Aubameyang when they could go out and get a Cardi who would suit them a lot better? Where did this Aubameyang to United link come from? Neil Anthony said, just shows Jarno have no clue. They had no idea about Vandenberg. To be fair, they did. A couple of them were talking about him. But only in the past 2 or 3 days, because I think there was a genuine race between clubs to try and get the kid. It's funny people saying only 1.3 million, we haven't spent anything yet. Do you know how bad I'd love 1.3 million? Big LC, I get you, pal. 1.3 million would be life-changing for almost all of us, wouldn't it? So I get where you're coming from. Sometimes we can say that even with bigger numbers, like, that's only 15 million, but yeah, to us mere mortals, mate, 15 million is a lot of wedge. Anybody in the chat know about the Keita injury? No confirmation, but there is some stuff coming out that let me just get to my. It's looking like Keita will miss Guinea's last game of the AFCON because of injury. Now, we spoke about this before. He was down 4 times for treatment or something because he was getting the shit kicked out of him by Nigeria in that game. But pushing that to one side, Naby Keita shouldn't have been at that tournament. We knew he wasn't fit. Liverpool knew that he probably wasn't fit. But Guinea were really digging their heels in and they were trying to pressurise to get the kid fit. Now, we'd seen what Mohamed Salah in the World Cup. Of course, a player like Naby Keita, like Mohamed Salah, like any internationals, they've got their national pride. They want to play for the country. They want to go and perform for the country on the biggest stage because they love their countries. But we've seen the negative impact that Mo Salah's lack of fitness during the World Cup. That impacted the start of his season with Liverpool. And Naby Keita's only coming off a really injury-plagued season anyway, where it was a little bit hit and miss from at the Reds. So I hope this doesn't have a negative impact as well. Now, if Guinea go out, which it looks like they could do, then he'll be home quick enough, and it's just a matter of hoping his recovery can speed up and that the club, he can get back working with the club's physios and the club's medical team and get him back to fitness as quickly as possible. It also says Bruno to reject Liverpool for United. That's, yeah, anything that says that somebody's rejecting us for United is complete horseshit. Why would they? Doesn't make any sense. Here, mate, do you want to come play for the European champions? Team that put 97 points up in the Premier League last year. A team that like have 750,000 people showing up for the parade when they won the European Cup, and you can't get a ticket into the stadium for love nor money because the fans are so diehard. Or do you want to go play for Ollie in the Europa League? Do you know what I mean? There were, at the moment, you know, United are a financial behemoth. I've said that before, but we are a destination club as things stand. We have a manager that people want to play for. We have, well, I suppose all clubs have a good fan base that people want to come play for, but we are renowned as a fan base for being that little bit different, shall we say. He shouldn't even be at the tournament, said Jay Brown, with regards to Naby Keita. Fully agree with you, Jay. I'm trying to keep my language to a minimum, but it is a fucking disgrace, mate, that a player who is struggling and was clearly not fit was pushed into it a little bit. Ordered new home shirt earlier today, 25 quid, genuine with tags. Couldn't say any better than that. Yeah, how could you, mate? That's a fantastic price. Watch the Guinea game, was ridiculous. Kicked all over the park and his manager didn't protect him. Shouldn't be playing, but manager should have subbed him off. Yeah, he went off in 71 minutes, I think, Jace, if memory serves. But it's just not good enough. It isn't good enough. I'm very good, thank you, Bob Robert, mate. I hope you're doing well. United are a bigger club. Well, you said biggest, which, do you know what I mean? That's not a phrase I want to read out, Harry. The question... They're not a bigger club right now with regards to appeal, Harry. Financially, value-wise, they're a bigger club. Yes, they're worth more than Liverpool. Cannot argue that. Bigger stadium than Liverpool, blah-de-blah. Same amount of trophies, mind, 42 for each club. But they're not a club now. If you're a player looking at the two clubs, realistically, honestly, taking a bias aside, where do you want to go and play? You come into Liverpool to play for Jurgen Klopp, surely. Thoughts on the football terrace? I don't know. No, don't know them. Don't watch them. Can't give an opinion on a channel. Wouldn't be fair of me to give an opinion on a channel that I haven't seen. David Maddock has said we're looking for a forward for 20 million. Kind of didn't say that. As I said, that he said is don't shoot the messenger, but if Liverpool make any more signings this summer, as things stand, they really won't be a 60 to 70 million pound high profile player. Slight possibility of a versatile forward / wide man, but likely to be around the 20 million mark or less. That's exactly what he said. But yeah, I suppose, Kane, it is a matter of interpreting that, and I'm kind of with you. I'm thinking that, my head's going Fekir, Ziyech, somebody of that ilk. Would I take Isco? I don't know, mate. He's got the talent. It just worries me why it hasn't worked out really at Real Madrid, whether Zidane just doesn't fancy him or whatever. But it would depend on figures. But look, Isco is a talent. I just don't know if he would have the credentials or the work rate, because I haven't seen enough of him. But it does worry me that he hasn't broken through at Madrid really established himself in that Madrid team, even when they were struggling. Craig, listen to this. I bought Liverpool training gear the 10th of June and still haven't got it. The club shop are taking the piss. They did say, and I'm not sticking up for them, mate, because I don't know the situation, but there are delays on some stuff, I believe, from the club site. Actually, while we're talking about the club have announced today that they will be showing all 7 of the pre-season friendlies on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. Now, there's a bit of a caveat to this, so there's a double asterisk, shall we say, at the bottom. Subscribers in the UK and Ireland will be able to watch every pre-season game live on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. Those from the rest of the world will be able to watch every pre-season game live on LFC TV Go. Rights vary in the USA, Portugal, Italy, Vatican City, San Marino, France, Monaco, Andorra and Mauritius. And of course, for more information, visit liverpoolfc.com. But for those of us based in the UK and Ireland, or those of you guys that have LFC TV Go, they will be showing the Reds 7 pre-season games on there. So yeah, good. I have it, thankfully, so I'll be able to watch them, which I'm happy about, which means I'll be able to do watch-alongs of them. So good news on that front. What else we got? Nobody talk about Thiago Jota, cracking player, because they won't sell him, mate. Wolves aren't going to sell Jota. It's just not going to happen. Wolves are a pretty financially backed club at the minute. Got a really powerful agent as well in Mendes. They've got that lovely Portuguese connection, so yeah, they're not going to be selling players anytime soon. They're looking to build their Wolves and build to challenge for European places. Hi Craig, do you think Salah's Egypt teammate Trezeguet? Honestly, hand on heart, Sean, don't know much about him. I'd seen somebody mention him to me yesterday. I haven't really watched. I haven't actually seen either of Egypt's game in the African Cup of Nations, to be honest, because I think I've been busy both times when they've played. Actually, I was on here last night when they were playing. Mickey Fryer said, only one player for me, and it's Bruno Fernandes. Interesting. What else we got? Craig, we play 4-3-3. That's why Isco doesn't play. Oh, you're sorry, mate. I was thinking Liverpool. We do play that, but you're from Madrid. Thank you. I really appreciate your input on that. What do you think of your business this season, mate? So far in the summer, Madrid obviously buying in a fair few players as things stand. Would I take Dembele from Barcelona? Yes, Lewis. It looks like he could be going to Paris Saint-Germain as part of a deal to take Neymar to Barca. Although I did see something today that I don't know if this is real or not, but somebody put up something that said Barcelona denied, or their vice president denied, interest in Neymar. Now, again, I don't know how real that was. Somebody could have easily made that up. But I did see links for a deal from Dembele going to Paris Saint-Germain as part of a deal to bring Neymar back to Barcelona. Douglas James Horn said Palace are being linked with Mignolet and Klein. We did speak a little bit about the Mignolet stuff. Klein is, it's a fairly obvious choice for them, isn't it? They sell Wan-Bissaka, he'd be back up to Alisson Becker, then I think Jurgen Klopp will more than happily have him here, as would I. He's a very good professional backup keeper to have. If he moves on, then it's a matter of the club getting what they believe fair market value is from him. And thank you for the super chat, by the way, Douglas, I appreciate it. Last season's pre-season was streamed on YouTube as well. I couldn't say about that, mate. All I know is what I read on the website, and that it's going out on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. Scotty said, I have LFC TV but don't know if it's Go. Well, basically, mate, if it's on your TV, it's LFC TV. If it's on a tablet, it's probably Go. Or a laptop or any mobile device. Like, for instance, I don't have LFC TV Go, so I can only watch the games on my TV. Jack's page said, Dembele posted a picture on England yesterday. I sent it to you on Instagram. I've nothing to do with the Instagram account, Jack, mate. Kev runs the Instagram account. Kev and Connor are the people that work on the Instagram account. I run Twitter and do the videos on here. We've done great business, Craig. I pray we don't sign Pogba now. It's looking like you might do, though. It's between yourselves and Juventus, I believe, mate, for Pogba. What about Eriksen? Do you think Madrid might go in for him, or do you think now that Eden Hazard has signed that that's the end of Christian Eriksen? Some serious money being spent up by Madrid this year. It'll be disappointing if we don't make at least one big signing, said Shea Trainer. I suppose I kind of agree with you, Shea, but I suppose it's a matter of what is a big signing. Like, would we consider Ziyech or Fekir a big signing, or does it purely come down to how much money we spend? I get where you're coming from. Vandenberg looks like a great talent with a great attitude. Definitely the sort of player we should be signing. Go on, Vandenberg. I like that, Joshua. Well in. And welcome to the club, as we said already. Do I rate Bissaka? Yes, he's a good fullback, mate. Lots of potential. And I'm not going to lie, people mentioned earlier on in the season at Liverpool, like, would you take him at Liverpool to challenge Trent? And I said, yes, of course. He's a very good young fullback. Did I say centre-back a minute ago? If I did, I meant fullback. But yeah, he's good. But he's still a little bit raw. He still has a bit of work to do. But you'd expect out of a young enough player. Gonna try get tickets for the Charity Shield, said Mickey Friars. I don't know the exact details, by the way, on the tickets for the Charity Shield. I haven't looked into it, so apologies I can't be of more help on that one. Imagine if we bid big for Mbappe now, said Don't Ask. Somebody told me that they were listening to I think it might have been Brian Morrissey, said they were listening to the Anfield rap and they were kind of teasing a little bit around Mbappe. I hope we make at least a decent transfer, said Shane. I think we will, mate. I think any player that we buy, I've every confidence that they're going to be a good player, to be fair. It's just a matter of how many, if any more, we go and get. And of course it depends on who we lose as well. When Maddox said 20 million, it makes you think. Yeah, my kind of mind came to Fekir and Ziyech. That's kind of where my head went when he was talking about the 20 million. I think a lot of people were thinking along similar lines. Aaron Monarch said, Craig, Man City will be giving out free FA Cup tickets next season. I've seen some stuff, mate, around their tickets which made me laugh. But look, I don't want to belittle them on here. We all know about the seats in the stadium. You don't need me to tell you about that. Hopefully Benfica accept their bid for Bruno Fernandes. I don't know, Jay. If you're a Liverpool mate, there's no bid for Bruno Fernandes from Liverpool that I'm aware of. And it's Sporting Lisbon. It's not Benfica. There's some reports that we put in a €45 million take it or leave it bid. And there's some other reports that say we're trying to use Rafael Camacho as part of make way for the deal. But I've always tried to say that I don't think those two are linked. Camacho looks like he's going there full stop. I mean, that deal's getting closer from what I've been reading today. So it looks like he's going to go back to Sporting, which is, of course, where he started his career. Pepe or Klopp in a boxing match? It's a weird question, mate. Klopp would destroy him. He's like much bigger than him. Who would you expect sign for around 20 million, said James. I don't know, mate. It's a very random number, isn't it, that David Maddock pulled out there, 20 million. Well, we know Fekir is being talked about at 26.7 million with a move to Milan. And we know Ziyech is rumoured to be €30 million, which is about, I think, £26 million, something like that. Swap Camacho for Fernandes. We don't really have any power in the Camacho deal, mate. We have to sell him this summer because he won't sign a new deal. He's got 1 year left. And his wish seems to be to go back to Sporting. So Liverpool, I think, are going to get around 10 million for that deal, I think. Have I heard about the Messi lookalike getting sued by 23 women for shagging them? Yes, I think it was in Iran, if my memory serves me correct. Look, if you think you're in Iran and you think Messi's going around there riding a load of women, then, you know, I think to sue somebody because of your own fucking stupidity, it just makes me laugh, to be fair. And I'm not trying to belittle women. I'd be saying the exact same thing if this was the other way around and it was 23 fellas who thought they were sleeping with Angelina Jolie. I'd be making the same joke, I promise you. It is it's a bit gullible. So to think to sue somebody because you bought, like, how many times have we all been in pubs, or our mates have been in pubs, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking fighter pilot, me. I am. Yeah, I'm a doctor, solicitor, me. You're not that I'm a, you work on a building site or you're a block layer or something. Everybody tells porkies to get laid. Come on, it's how the world works. How good is number 6? It is a fucking great number, mate. It really is. Brian Morris, he said, I've absolutely no doubt we'll get the players we want. Klopp and Edwards are on point. We're not signing players because they had a good season, i.e. Pepe. And this is what I'm with Brian on this. We scout players for a long time. Sometimes, very rarely, you get that opportunistic signing like Sheridan Shaqiri. But even at that was probably monitored for quite a while because they knew, Stoke looked fucked. So they knew like that deal was probably going to be there for 13.5 million. Mickey Fryer said, Law, Messi and Iran shagging. 23, mate. 23 people apparently this lad can't. He does look a bit like him. I've seen the image, but even in the image he's wearing an old shirt. It's mad. On Fekir, I've got something on Fekir actually that I read today, so bear with me in 2 seconds. So Lyon manager Bruno, is it Genesio, has backed Nabil Fekir to leave the club this summer after a deal with Liverpool for the playmaker fell through last term. Speaking about the French international, he said he was very frustrated with his non-transfer to Anfield, and he told RMC Sport, Nabil arrives at the end of a cycle in Lyon. I think he was very frustrated with his non-transfer to Liverpool at the start of the season. It's from RMC Sport, but I got this in the Echo, so I said the same to anybody. Like, for him to have put on the shirt, or the training shirt, to have sat down, to have been interviewed about joining the club, to have gone through everything that he went through, I don't know if Jurgen Klopp would be the type of person, or we are the type of club to just leave him high and dry. I don't know about that. And then when you hear that AC Milan could be getting him for 26 million, for me, I just think, go back in for him. Christ, go back in and give it a bash. But that's just me, and I'm not Jurgen Klopp, and I don't have the medical records, and I haven't done the due diligence that the club will have done. What have we got here? Why did we sign Oxlade-Chamberlain for 45 million? He didn't exactly have a great career at Arsenal. I don't know. Well, look, we signed him and I love him and I'm happy he's here. Don't get me wrong, I'm not debating the signing of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain because I'm absolutely over the moon that he's a Liverpool player. I love having him at the club. But like, I can't tell you about his medical records. We know that he missed some time. We know he's done his ACL for Liverpool, but he's still quite young as well. I don't know, mate, is the honest answer. I think maybe it could have... It's either one or two things with Fekir. It was the knee or it was money. It can't be really anything else. Aaron said, Craig, when Van den Berg plays 350 times for Premier League in Europe, the add-ons are 3.1 million. Yep. As I said earlier on, mate, 1.3 million up front, and then 350 appearances later, it can go up to just over 4 million. Sorry, it makes me smile that we put that clause in there, that we negotiated that clause in there. Martin Tyler or Peter Drury? Peter Drury. Yeah, fuck Martin Tyler. Peter Drury. We rescued Oxlade-Chamberlain from Arsenal. Well in, Pepper Red. I like that one, mate. Well in. If we get Fekir cheap, we need to gamble. Forget the knee. We have the money, said Aaron Monarch. Ben Washbrook said it has to be Fekir's knee, Craig. It must be. I'd imagine so. I think, at a guess, and this is only a guess because I have zero inside knowledge. When I was thinking about this last summer, I was thinking a couple of things. One, maybe we couldn't get an insurance company to underwrite it after the medical. Because every player has to be insured in case of any accident, injury, heaven forbid, death, anything like that. So I wonder if maybe we couldn't get an insurance company to underwrite the deal, or our insurance company wouldn't underwrite the deal. I don't know. Maybe our medical staff or the experts, because they would have got experts in to have a look at this knee on top of our own doctors. I guess we might never know. You're a lion tamer, Evan. Well in. Fair play. Has Sturridge got a club to go to? Heard PSG were interested. PSG apparently interested. I think Fenerbahce are interested. Somebody said a couple of clubs in the MLS as well, but I genuinely don't know, mate. We made 250 million last season. We can gamble on Fekir. Yeah, I mean, we did make 250 million from television revenue, but doesn't mean it's all profit. Do you know what I mean? We still have overheads as a club as well. I don't know the finances that well. Afterwards, Jean-Michel Aulas did that prig last year where we're having a friendly with Lyon. You see, that's Game of Tube. We spoke about this before. That friendly with Lyon, I'm a cynical fucker at the best of times, and that, to me, that just screams like something. There's something there. There's some agreement in place. There's something there. I just don't believe we're playing Lyon accidentally. As I said, I could be completely wrong. I just have a feeling there's something around that transfer, or there's something around that friendly. What else we got? Who would have lost their place if Fekir had signed? No, like, why do we always look at it like this? Why do we always look at somebody losing their place or a starting 11? The problem with last season was quite simple. We were able to compete in the Premier League, we were able to compete in the Champions League, but we were able to do jack shit in the 2 domestic cups because we didn't have a strong enough squad. This is why we need another attacking player. This is why we might need a backup fullback. It's not because our starting 11 isn't good enough. It's because we need to challenge for every competition next year, because that's the point we're at in our development right now. And to do that, we need Manchester City-esque squad depth. As I said before, they look at their bench. Riyad Mahrez is there. Leroy Sané is there. Gabriel Jesus is there. Young Foden coming through there as well. That's what we have to go up against. So this is what we need to be trying to do, although sometimes we go about it in a different way, of course. That's what we have to compete with, so we can't stand still. Thoughts on Lomachenko? I mean, what can I say about Vasyl Lomachenko that hasn't been said? He's an absolute technician. Footwork is some of the best footwork I've ever seen. I think his father made him take ballet when he was younger, and the fact that he lost his first professional bout, and then went on to accomplish what he's accomplished in such a short period is amazing. Dara, he's quality. And if he fights Luke Campbell, he'll beat Luke Campbell, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Luke Campbell's good, but Lomachenko he's just a special talent. What else we got? We have a friendly with Sporting as well. Yeah, there is that, to be fair. But the one with Lyon just kind of got sandwiched in there, if you know what I mean. The one with Sporting is in America, makes sense as part of that tour. Then we've got the one with Lyon, which is in Switzerland, I think, isn't it? Just kind of sandwiched in there. 524 people watching? 524 people in the stream, guys. Thank you so much as always for being here with us. If you're enjoying the stream, you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button and give us an old thumbs up. Right, some more news. I've got lots and lots of stuff to talk about tonight. So young gentleman has signed his first contract with the club. Abdi Sharif has signed his first professional contract with Liverpool Football Club. The 18-year-old midfielder has been training with the Reds since the age of 6, and today formally joined the club as a professional. He joined the club 3 years after training with the Reds at the age of 6. So congratulations to Abdi Sharif on signing his first professional contract with Liverpool Football Club. I would say welcome to the family, but you know what? As I said, he's been here since he was 6. Steven Gerrard, by the way, who you know is Rangers manager, looking like he could be trying to sign his former teammate Martin Skrtel from Fenerbahce. It's a deal that's been talked about for quite a while. I think he looked at it last year, couldn't quite afford it, or the last window I should say, couldn't quite afford it, and now there is some strong rumours out there that he could be getting him in, which would be interesting. What do you guys think about that one? Skrtel, Stevie G. It would obviously be for a bit of what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Experience, I suppose. If you think about it, James Milner's the best player of all time. So Jack's page, he's one hell of a player. I mean, I posted up a picture the other day from the dressing room after the Champions League final of James Milner, and that man is just in ridiculous condition. I know he's a professional athlete and he would be, but he's a phenomenon. He's looked after himself so well. It doesn't drink, always in good shape. He's just a role model for any young professional out there. Yeah, look, let me just get this straight, Conrad, once again, mate. Fernandes has in his bollocks rejected Liverpool. I don't know if you're a United fan or not, mate, but nobody rejects us for Manchester United these days, because let's be quite fucking frank about this. Manchester United are absolutely circling the drain as things stand, and we're up there laughing, waving, looking down, going, yeah, best of luck, lads. Look, nobody rejects Liverpool for Manchester United in this day and age. It's just not going to happen. Fernandes could well be going to Manchester United. 100% agree with that. But don't be so naive to believe that if we wanted Fernandes, he wouldn't be a Liverpool player. Because he would. He would absolutely be a Liverpool player right now if we wanted Fernandes that badly. Without a shadow of a doubt. He's spoken already publicly about how much he likes Liverpool and the way that we play. He spoke about how he preferred us to Manchester City. If you want to be deluded enough to believe that he said, oh, play with the European champions, play with Jurgen Klopp, play in the Champions League this year, challenge for the Premier League, play with Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, or go and play with fucking Phil Jones and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Come on, mate, be realistic. He didn't reject anything. He might well be going to United, as I said, but fuck off, he didn't reject Liverpool. Oh, but that fuck off, sorry. That fuck off was a bit harsh. I didn't mean that directly at you, mate. Sorry. I just meant the scenario fuck off, because it's just ridiculous. What else we got? That Terry fool had that as his title. Look, as I keep saying, I can't really say anything about the football, whatever the fuck they're called, the football terrace, because I don't know them. But everything that I've been told by you guys about this guy, that Terry fella, and I don't know him, so I can't speak about me, but he seems to be very anti-fucking Liverpool. And if he wants to delude himself and try and suck people in with the title that Bruno Fernandes turned down Liverpool to go to Manchester United, then that is absolutely his fucking prerogative to do it, but he can delude himself all he wants, because it's nonsense. What else we got? They only reject us for United if they're only in it for the money. I just don't think anybody with half of any ambition right now would look at the two clubs and go, oh yeah, let's go to United and play in the Europa League. Do you think Fabinho, Henderson and Oxlade-Chamberlain is the best midfield in the Premier League? Oh, I don't know, it's a difficult one. There are some good midfields in the Premier League. I mean, we've got a good group of midfielders there. They're an industrious midfield. We just need to add a few more goals from it next season, I think. What else we got? All the money saving rumours are just a facade. Makes players feel more wanted when we go for them, said Brommy Boy. Nice one, mate. I hope we do, by the way. I hope we do add to our squad. Liz Golden said, subscribe people on the road to 20k. Yes, we are. We really are on the road to 20k. I can't believe I'm saying that. I couldn't believe it when we said 10k, 15k, and I can't believe that we are where we are at 17k. So we are on the road to 20k, and you can help by hitting that subscribe button. It was clickbait. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to call it. I mean, as I said, there's so much I want to say, but I can't, because I genuinely haven't watched the channel, and I can't judge something I haven't watched. But yeah, there you go. Do you think Harry Wilson could make it to the bench next season? I think he'll end up going this season, Anthony. I think we'll sell him towards the end of the summer. But I think from what I've read, he's going to get a chance in pre-season to impress Jurgen Klopp, and let's see what he can do. I mean, it's great. I want to see young kids get a chance, and pre-season's the perfect time to do that. Any player signing for anyone turns Liverpool down is... Excuse me, what's this great chance? Any player signing for anyone turns Liverpool down in the process, because if a journalist didn't add your name to the story, nobody would read it. Fair point. I mean, we are used for a lot of stories in clickbait, Craig. That's a good point. Jace Roberts said, our midfield options allow tactical flexibility. We're in the nice position of having options that allow us to adjust dependent on the opposition, which is true. How many times have we spoken about a Jurgen Klopp signing, whether it be midfield or forward, where we say versatility? We say he can play in an 8, he can play in a 6, he can play in a 10, or he can play as a wide forward or through the centre or in the hole. That's something that Jurgen Klopp seems to really value in some areas of the pitch. Obviously, with the likes of Van Dijk and stuff, you want a top quality centre back, or Alisson, you want a top quality keeper. But it does seem, as Jason said there, that we do have players that allow Jurgen Klopp to make little tactical tweaks where necessary. Do you think we will Signed a big player this summer, said Ethan. Again, I suppose it's a subjective term, Ethan, isn't it? What is a big player? I mean, I'm happy if we went and got Fekir. I'm happy if we got a Ziyech. I'm just happy if we got anybody that we believe is of the calibre to support the front three or to come in and substitute for the front three. I'm excited for Brewster to start coming into games. I really think he'll be absolute fire, said Eclipse. I'm 100% behind you, mate. Ryan Brewster is going to be a superstar. It's just a matter of when. I don't want to put the pressure on him to say this season Ryan Brewster will come through and will score 15 goals, 20 goals. Because I can't say that. But I can say with every confidence that I believe he will establish himself over the next couple of seasons as an not almost undroppable, but as an undoubted talent. Rejecting an offer and rejecting a club are two different things. These United fans are hilarious. They literally are like doing anything to try and make themselves feel better. The fact of the matter are this: Manchester United have an unproven manager. They have somebody running the club in Ed Woodward that hasn't got a fucking clue what he's at. They have made shambolic signings. Ollie shouldn't have got the job. They're talking about bringing in the director of football, and the names that we've seen mentioned are absolutely hilarious. Their own fans are doing their nut and trying to convince themselves all of a sudden that they've got one over on us. If that's what they need to say to themselves to make themselves feel better at this moment in time, great, have at it, whatever works for you. But when you come onto our channel, a Liverpool fan channel, and try and fill us with this bullshit that Fernandes is rejecting us to go and play for United, you really need to give your head a wobble, because it's just nonsense. Am I your dad? Probably not, Alfie, mate. Probably not, but if I am, I probably owe you a few birthday presents, pal, don't I? But I'd say probably am it, mate. Who's saying we're not signing anyone? Please say it's not true. It stems from a tweet from David Maddock, who was tweeting after we signed Sepp Vandenberg, and he said, "Don't shoot the messenger, but if Liverpool make any more signings this summer, as things stand, they really won't be 60 to 70 million pound high profile players." Then he goes on to say, "Slight possibility of a versatile forward / wide man, but likely to be around the 20 million mark or less." Now, I don't know why he would have added that last part in unless there's something there, or unless he's got the nod or the belief that Liverpool are trying to get somebody in that wide position. And that, the fact that we may be looking at somebody in that area does fill me with confidence, because that's the area that I think we need to strengthen. I absolutely believe and understand that anybody who thinks we need a backup fullback, I get you. But we do have somebody coming through that could do a job there. We do have young, what's his name? Adam Lewis that can do a job at left back. We also know that James Milner can drop in and play at left back. So there are options if the worst came to the worst and Andy Robertson picked up an injury. But even allowing for that, Robbo needs to get rested as well. He can't go and play a potential 72 games this season. We should sell Wilson, Lallana and get Fekir or Ziyech for the same money, said Varun. Yeah, there is that. Now let's not forget, as I said, we've got the money for Danny Ings coming into Liverpool. I think, did I say Origi earlier on when I was talking about Southampton? We've got money coming in for Danny Ings. Kleiny looks like he's going to go out, so there's money going to come in there. I don't know what's going to happen with Gruy. It's possibly another loan. We're moving on Rafael Camacho. That's another 10 million coming in. So there's money coming in transfers that can be used. And as people have rightly said, we've had a pretty profitable fucking year. Like we posted over 100 million profit. First Premier League club to do post a pre or post tax profit, I can't remember, of 100 million quid. Then we went and earned 251 million pound from television revenue from the Premier League and the Champions League. Then we've got more sponsorship deals coming on board. We've got the new kit deal to look at as well, and not this season, coming from the following season. So that's going to bring in a lot of money. So the club are in a good, strong position. So it's just a matter of whether we need to break the bank, really, I suppose is the phrase I'm looking for. I have my own train of thought on this, and I'm letting my head get away with myself, but I just can't put out of my mind that a potential quiet enough window, this window, could be because of something massive coming down the line. I think you know where I'm going with this. I don't want to even come out and say it because I don't want to come back to bite me in the ass. But if we have a quietish window this year and we bring in, let's say, Ziyech, a Fekir, maybe another young player or two, then I think it's because of something being worked on long term, big down the line, and that's just my absolutely based on nothing in reality feeling about it. Did I follow somebody called Jake H? I haven't got a clue, mate. I don't know what. Are you talking about Twitter, Instagram? Haven't got a clue. At this moment, there's no denial from Liverpool linking Fernandes bid. There's no denial from Melissa Reddy that Liverpool and Fernandes could happen, said Yasser, excuse me. Hi Craig, sorry I wasn't in last night. My niece took me to see Westlife. Nice one, Bernadette. I hope you had a lovely night. Well in. And by the way, never feel the need to apologise, Bernadette. It's, as I said, we're grateful when people come in and give us their time. We've no expectations whatsoever. But I hope you had a good night at Westlife. 20 million for Ings, what's the world coming to? It's probably his market value, to be fair. I mean, if he can put his injuries behind him, Danny Ings is a bargain for 20 million quid, I would say. He knows where the net is. He had a decent end to the campaign with Southampton. I think that's a decent enough deal. That new signing is a wonder kid, said Alfie Rogers. Yep, it's a good, very good piece of business by the club, mate. And Twango said, are we just being very sensible with money now? Would you say tight? To me it seems really astute with our spending, value spending. Some of the deals that we've pulled off, I mean, look, it's easy to be frustrated in the short term, but let's look at it and look back over the last few windows. The way that we structured that deal for Naby Keita when Barcelona, Bayern Munich and other teams were trying to get him, that allowed us to play the long game and keep him at Leipzig for another season while we got him next year for a fee that was dependent on where they finished in the league. That was brilliant. That was genius from Michael Edwards. The way that we signed Andy Robertson by basically swapping him for Kevin Stewart. I know the two deals weren't technically linked, but they were around the same money to the same club. So that was brilliant. Then we hear about the amounts that we paid for, let's say, Fabinho, which to me seems like an absolute bargain. We've been so astute in the way we've gone about our transfers that I think we need to wait, as people have said, to the end of the window and then make our judgment on this one. Sorry, my nose is very itchy. That means I'm supposed to be having a fight with somebody, doesn't it? Have the odds changed on Bruno? I haven't checked. Pop and Powell, honestly, I haven't checked today, sorry. Ziyech is closing to Arsenal, bid 28 million from... I have seen a link, but I just laugh about Arsenal because they are struggling to sign Kieran Tierney for 15 to 20 million quid. They're arguing over pounds, shillings and pence there. And then where did this talk of Aubameyang to United come from, by the way? That's really strange. If you're an Arsenal fan right now, you must be banging your head against the wall. Pop and Lou say, Craig, Ori, the finances, the training complex is £50 million, and when they expect the Annie Road, it is estimated to cost around 75 million. With regards to the training facility at Kirby and the 50 million, all I know, and I don't know much about football finance, but I do know that that can be written off against FFP, so that won't be taken into account for our FFP related issues because it's strengthening. It's a capital project. It's improving the facilities, I believe. The stadium costing a potential 75 million to extend the Anfield Road end. I think they're probably going to scrap that and reevaluate it. From what I read, I think it was in an interview with Tom Werner, maybe going back just after the Champions League final. There was talk that there's no rush on the Annie Road end. They are looking at it. The outline plan and permission lasts until September, and at that point they will make a decision. And the few little murmurings I've read seem to suggest that they might be looking to even go a little bit bigger, which is, you know, music to our ears if it happens, because the more bums we can get in seats, the better. Arsenal have to sell Aubameyang to get Zaha. That's a huge gamble from their behalf. Selling the joint top scorer in the Premier League, somebody who absolutely knows where the net is and has worked for Arsenal to fund Zaha, who is a good player, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Wilfred Zaha at all. If I'm an Arsenal fan, that is not what I want to hear at all. I want both. Like, I want Aubameyang to be there, and I want them to be going to get Zaha if I'm an Arsenal fan, which thankfully, for the grace of God, I'm not. Some of our fans go on so much about money as if it's coming out of their own pockets. We're the 6th richest club in the world. Money's not a problem. We need to sign a world-class striker. Striker? I don't think we need a striker personally. I think we need a wide forward. Bobby's not going to be budged from that number 9 spot, and when he does, Ryan Brewster's probably going to be the alternative. Just my opinion though. We should have a look at youth players who have a chance to play central striker, I think you're trying to say there. Where is Arsenal penny pinching again to them UFC gamer? It looks that way, mate, doesn't it? Oh God, if I'm an Arsenal fan right now, I really am pissed off. But as I said, I'm not, which is brilliant. So there's a journalist called Christoph Terror, excuse me if I've mispronounced his name, it's spelled T-E-R-R-E-U-R, and he's reported that Liverpool held positive talks with Divock Origi about a new contract, and that the player is of course now on holiday. He posted that there's a very good offer on the table and that Divock Origi will make a decision when he returns to pre-season. Now, we know that there's been interest from Real Betis in Divock Origi, and a rumoured £10 million bid was incoming, which I've no doubt they will be told what they can do with that £10 million bid. But from the club's perspective, everything that I've read, and I'm sure you guys have seen the same, suggests that even if Divock turns down the new contract, that they're not going to sell him. They're going to hang on to him, and they're going to get this season out of him, which I can understand. I think he'll sign the new deal personally, particularly if it's in on improved terms, because he's still developing. He's earned that new deal, in my opinion. He's stood up this season in the big games and scored some important goals. He's not the finished product just yet, but you know, he's not even entering his prime. He's still got time to develop. So I think, hopefully, he comes back to pre-season. They sit back down with his agent and they hammer out a deal, and Origi extends for another 3 or 4 or 5 years or whatever it is. Would they build a new stadium for Liverpool and make Anfield into houses? No, mate. That decision was made. Once they built the main stand, we're staying at Anfield. It was a case of if they moved to Stanley Park and build that stadium, or if they stayed at Anfield. And much like they did with the Red Sox, they decided that there was too much history, too much sentiment, too much meaning around the stadium, and that they felt that they could develop it. And I think with the main stand, we can all agree they've done a fantastic job there. But as fans, of course, fans who are all struggling to get tickets, we want as many seats as we can possibly get. But there's no way we're moving from Anfield now, not a hope. Personally, I thought Keita had a very mediocre season. Yeah, he did, mate, but it's his first season. It was a little bit injury plagued. He has language barriers. He has issues settling into a new city. He's coming from a different league. There's all varied reasons why he could have had a bit of a hit and miss season, but it was his first year. You almost have to not write it off, but you have to allow him that development. I mean, how many times have we seen players not really have a great first year and then slowly but surely start to progress? And I have no doubts about Naby Keita's ability in my own head, none. Yeah, can someone tell me, does the money go to transfers from tickets? It's just not that simple at all, Mossy. How can I put this? Right, for football clubs, Liverpool could probably not charge a penny for tickets. Could just let people in free every week and still turn a healthy profit because of the amount of money that's been pumped into the game from television revenue. It used to be, and again, my very limited understanding of football finances, it used to be that football clubs relied on ticket sales to fund the clubs, basically. But these days, there's so much money coming in from Amazon, from Sky, from BT, that ticket sales are almost secondary for the clubs. They're still a significant source of revenue, but they're not the be-all and end-all that they used to be. Naby's only just getting started, said Antwango. Pranav said Fabinho, Henderson, Naby should be our first choice midfield 3. It depends for me, mate, on who we're playing. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes if you're away from home, you might want to have 2 slightly more defensive midfielders. If you're at home, then you might want to let the reins loose a little bit and maybe throw Oxlade-Chamberlain in there. Evan Guest said, sell Lallana, Kent and Mignolet and promote Brewster in place. Harry Wilson, Curtis Jones, Keanu Hoover, Adam Lewis. This is the best way to continue attracting the next young talent to the club. I agree to an extent, Evan. They do have to see a pathway through, no doubt about that. But at the same time, it's about getting a mix right, I think, in our position. When Jurgen Klopp first came to the club, the job that he had ahead of him, it was a big ass fucking rebuild, let's be fair. And he top loaded, he got there bit by bit. He went and he bought the forwards, so he went and he got in Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, Firmino. Then he went back and brought in some midfielders, and then he went back and started bringing in, the back five, if you want to put it that way. So now it's a matter of tweaking, and we do need to keep bringing in the best young talent, as Evan has said, but we also need to make an astute signing or two and bring in players to challenge the already established players. It's about getting that mix right, and we're in a position now where it's probably one or two decent signings every window, one or two, depending on who comes in and who leave, or who comes through, I should say. Sorry. Connor said, I sometimes forget we have Naby to unleash. Imagine how good he'll be if he hits top form. He's going to be class. I think Naby Keita, when, as Connor said, he hits top form, I think he'll be an absolute destroyer in that midfield. What else we got? Thank God we're not a Real Madrid type of club, said Gonads. I'll second that. Their fans are just spoiled little fuckers, aren't they? Well, not all of them, sorry, I should make a sweeping statement like that. But when you hear Eden Hazard being presented there and they're singing "We Want Mbappe," I mean, geez, that's bad form altogether. Can't sell Lallana if he doesn't want to leave. Easier said than done, said Jace Roberts. Yeah, it's true, mate. It's hard to move a player on. And we know Jurgen Klopp has a soft spot for Adam Lallana. We've seen that since day one. And Adam Lallana, in fairness to him, he's doing his best. He's reported back to train. He's doing his best to get fit. Do you think Gerrard being assistant manager for Liverpool after Rangers, then being head coach after Klopp, is a good idea? Yeah, I've said that all along, mate. Ideally, for me, whenever Jurgen Klopp decides he's going to move on, and I hope it's not for a very, very long time, if Steven Gerrard is to be the next manager, and for me that would involve him having to leave Rangers and get a job, a bit more of a high calibre job, I'd like to see a transitional period, whether it be a year, whether it be 6 months, where he works with Jurgen Klopp and there's a bit of a smooth handover, although that's easier said than done. What else we got? Whoever we sign, however good they are for their clubs now, Klopp won't play them until he thinks they're ready to play his way. Just look at what he did with Fabinho. Not just Fabinho, John. He did it with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He did it with Andy Robertson. I mean, Fabinho's this season, and people were losing their minds around November going, what the fuck is happening? But it was the same the year before with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Andy Robertson. He just doesn't play people until, as you've rightly said, he believes they're fully fit, ready to go, and he understands the system. Did I watch Liverpool 11 versus the Ireland 11? If you're talking about the game on behalf of the Sean Cox Rehabilitation Fund, then yes, we were at it, mate. Myself and Connor were at the game, and it was, I think, €750,000 raised, which is very good. Obviously going to a very good cause as well. Mr. Crosby said, I'd rather us never win anything again than be as much of CUNTS as those Madrid fans are. At least we enjoy the club either way. Yes, exactly, mate. And we don't really have a sense of entitlement. I think we just, not as much as they seem to have anyway. Do you think Ndombele will help Spurs close the gap, or will it just be a two-horse race again? It depends, because if they bring in Ndombele and they lose Christian Eriksen, which they probably will, have they really strengthened? It's like Chelsea. I spoke about Chelsea signing Kovacic, or signing Kovacic to Connor. And I always hate when you get a player in on loan and then you have to sign him the following season, because you're already used to having that player in your squad. So when you go and spend the money the following year, you're not really strengthening, because you've already had him the previous season. So although he's now your player, you haven't really added to your squad. And that's something that I think is funny about this whole Chelsea deal for Kovacic. €50 million, whatever it was, that is, to me, it's too much. But Ndombele is a good player. If they lose Christian Eriksen, it depends what other business they do. But they have a very good manager, Mauricio Pochettino. and a wonderful new stadium as well. Should we keep or sell Mignolet? Could understand if he wanted to go, but he's a good backup, and I believe he's being professional and great around the dressing room, said Ian Murphy. I agree what you said there, Ian. If Simon Mignolet is happy to stay and challenge or be backup to Alisson Becker, then I'm happy to have him here. I wouldn't be happy with him as a number one, but having him as backup, and even if he needed to play for a couple of months because of an injury, I'd be happy enough with that. And like you've said, he seems to have been a model pro. But on the flip side, he expected to be able to move last summer, and he was a little bit surprised, it looked like, that Loris Karius was the one that was given the move. So if he wants to go, I think it would be fair of the club, or only fair of the club, to give him that move. I hate to ever belittle a player that wants to play football, and he's 31, 32, I think he's 31. So he wants to play for the last, whatever it was, 4, 5, 6 years. He's a goalkeeper, can go a bit longer of his career, and I would never knock a footballer that wants to go and play. Do you remember when Firmino joined? Took him a couple of seasons to really become the player he is now. When you think about the season Fabinho has had, next year he'll be immense. Yes, how long was Firmino underrated by opposition fans specifically? I mean, Liverpool fans watched him week in, week out, knew what he was about, but it's only really been in the past season or so that opposition fans have kind of understood what we've always seen in Roberto Firmino. And as you said, Fabinho has been exceptional. Absolutely exceptional, and it was one of those signings where none of us knew it was happening, but as soon as you heard the name, you were like, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, they've knocked it out of the park there. I didn't see a single Liverpool fan who went, not sure about this lad. Everybody was just like, great business, well done to the club. And he's gonna, like, his tackle, the Champions League final, that tackle, was it on Messi or was it on Suarez in midfield, whoever it was, just clattered him, real old school. I love that about Fabinho. What else have we got? He took time to settle in, then he came good, said Antoango. Just imagine Mbappe, I would just explode, said Kyle. Yeah, it's kind of what I was alluding to earlier on, Kyle, if I'm being honest, with this whole looking a little bit down the line, maybe working on something, because let's be fair, it cannot be a coincidence that Kylian Mbappe has had so many little crossovers with Liverpool this summer. As I said, I'm a cynical fucker, and I refuse to believe that this is an accident. He's with LeBron James. He's with Daniel Sturridge. He's talking about if he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, he needs to win the Champions League. He's talking about using Liverpool in FIFA. I just refuse to believe all of this is a coincidence. But I'm not saying we're going and signing Kylian Mbappe. I just wonder if this is why it'll be maybe a quieter window, and then during the season we announce a new kit deal, and maybe that kit manufacturer is Nike, and then maybe him being a Nike athlete. You know, I know PSG are Nike as well, but let's be fair, Liverpool are an infinitely bigger club than Paris Saint-Germain, who I was shocked to learn were only formed in 1970 or 1971, something like that. Who do I think will finish in the top 4 next season? Ike, it feels like a while, mate. How are you? It feels like a while since we've spoken. It depends on the business done in the summer, mate. As things stand, I don't see Liverpool, City or Spurs not getting in the top 4. Then it just comes down to who does the better business between United, Arsenal and, well, I would say Chelsea, but they can't really do any business. So I think it's just one of those 3, mate, for the last place, and who it's going to be will depend on a lot of things. How long Solskjaer lasts as well as another one. Mr. Roberts said, what I love about Fabinho is that he can be aggressive, make these crunching tackles, but then also be so snide and cute and ensure that he doesn't overstep the mark and get sent off. Yeah, I can't remember what game it was, whether it was the Barca game or whether it was, there was some game in the Champions League towards the latter stages where he picked up an early yellow card, and I remember thinking, oh shit, this could be trouble. But he managed his way through that game magnificently well and didn't ever look like getting that red card. So, as Jason said, he's very clever. Troll the Nation said, hi Craig, new fan of yours here. How are you? By the way, you guys heard rumours for Fernandes with Paddy Power and Betfair. Firstly, mate, thank you. Welcome. Great to have you with us. Really happy that you enjoy the channel. We spoke about the links or the bet odds on Bruno Fernandes the other day. They dropped right down to 1-9 at one point, but everything looks as if he's probably going to go to United, to be fair. But I don't know if I don't understand why those odds fell so quickly. We were on a stream, or we were just about to go on a stream when it happened, and I still can't figure out why it happened or where it came from. Why all of a sudden money went on and the odds fell down. It is mad. But as I said, mate, at the start, welcome. Great to have you with us. The Manx are saying Bruno rejected Liverpool for... Yeah, as I said, the Manx are just trying to fool themselves, to make themselves feel better that they're in a piss poor position right now. And look, leave them to it. The start of the season, we'll be looking down on them for the entire season as we were this season. And I mean from the top of the table, I don't mean as people, because, you know, everybody you should treat as equals, but as things stands, you know, you're happier if you're a Liverpool fan right now than a United fan, let's be fair. I love this jibber jabber though, said Brian. I love that phrase, jibber jabber, mate. Well in. We need a forward, said Junkie Funky Smith. What a name, mate. Love it. Junkie Funky Smith. There is a name and a half. We do. I agree. We do need a forward. I just don't see it being a number 9, but I think the wide forward is a good move. What a name that is. Patrick Doyle, how are you, sir? Welcome in. I always love to see some new names coming in. Of course, it's lovely to have the old regulars here with us, but it's great to see new people coming in as well. And as I said many times before, maybe you're somebody that doesn't comment all the time, but you watch. But if you ever do comment, please do let me know where you're watching. And I also really love to know how people found our little community on here, how they found the channel, because shit like that just fascinates me, and it also helps us to know which places we should be targeting, or which way we can try and attract more Reds over to our little community. Anybody also seen Rebecca Tavares? Yeah, I was trying not to go down that route, mate, to be fair. But one thing I will say about Rebecca Tavares is, since day one, since they were on the plane coming over to Liverpool, her social media game has been top notch, and she has interacted with Liverpool fans and tried to make herself part of the Reds family from day one. And for that, I would give her a massive thumbs up. Like, I think she's been brilliant in that sense. Are you starting to believe the reports of Liverpool doing a so-called standstill summer? No, not really. I do think we'll bring in an attacking player. I just don't know if I believe the David Maddock £20 million bracket, or if it will be somebody of a higher price point. I don't know. But I never believed we were going to do anything like last summer, because we just quite frankly don't need to have a summer like last summer. But you never want to stand still. I'm definitely in the case of not wanting the club to just stand still and rest on its laurels. But Jurgen Klopp has always said since day one as well that English media and English football fans and the English football community as a whole can sometimes be a little bit obsessed with transfers and new players and bring in more and more and more. And Jurgen Klopp likes to coach footballers. Jurgen Klopp likes to improve players on the training field, and he's done it time and time again. So if nothing else, let me put a couple of things to bed. Whatever happens this summer, I don't think it's because there isn't money there. I absolutely believe that the owners will back Jurgen Klopp financially. If Jurgen Klopp turned around tomorrow and said, I want Ousmane Dembele for 95 million quid, at least from the player's point of view, I believe the owners will go, alright, Michael Edwards, go to see what you can do there and try and strike up a deal. Now, it mightn't be for 95 million, but whatever, I fully believe that he'd be backed. Any decisions that are made this summer, I think it's down to Kloppo. I don't think it's down to a lack of availability of funds for him. I really don't. I mean, I'm not going to knock the owners in that way. How can I? I know there's net spend people out there that believe that we only spend X amount every year, or we only have busy summers every 2 years, or after we sell a major player. And either way, my answer to all of that is just simply one thing. Have we improved? Has this squad improved every single window or season under Jurgen Klopp? And I challenge anybody to say no, that it hasn't, because it has. Every year we've gone out there, whether it be selling Coutinho to buy 2 other players, whatever way it might be, we've ended up with a European Cup winning squad, a team that amassed 97 points in the Premier League and pushed Manchester City all the way, A team that defensively has become like night and day from what we've seen a few seasons ago, where we were always good going forward. We knew where the net was, but our Achilles heel was defending. We've addressed all of those areas, and how we've done it, I don't think we should really give a shit about. Whether it's with a net spend of X amount or whether it's because we sold X, Y or Z. The fact of the matter is we are where we are, and we are in a much, much better position. And the owners have to take their fair share of props for that, because they gave us Jurgen Klopp. They brought in these people that have structured these fantastic deals. They've brought in the best nutritionists. They've given us an improved training facility. They've built a wonderful new stand. They mightn't do everything that we want to do all the time, and they've definitely made mistakes, but I just find it really difficult to be negative in any way about a situation when we're European champions. It's just tough. Are we being spoiled at times? Are we being a bit petulant by saying, give us a 70 million quid player? Before the window was closed, I mean, let's at least allow this window to play out, and let's see what happens then. That's my little take on it anyway. Somebody's talking about, where was Kai Havertz? There was a comment there on Kai Havertz. Brian Kelly said, "God damn, I love you all." We love you too, pal, and great to have you in with us. Started watching a week ago, really enjoying it. Well in, mate, great channel. Thank you, Brommy boy. Really appreciate that. And thank you for letting me know when you started as well. Stephen Taggart said 517 people watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe button. Please do. What else have we got? Our current squad are good enough to win the title and Champions League next season, but the challenge for the FA and League Cups, we need to bolster our squad. I can't disagree with you on that, mate, because I think I'd be just contradicting myself if I did. We weren't able to compete in all competitions this season for various reasons. We had some difficult draws in the cups as well. Let's be honest about that. Wolves and Chelsea weren't easy games to get that early on in the cup competitions, but at the same time, they're the breaks. So yeah, I agree. It's not about bringing in somebody to displace anybody. It's about backing up the squad so we can make those little tweaks and those little changes, and we don't need too much to do that. Tonic said, do we need a £20 million forward? Seems to me that if we go for one, it would be a quality player, not a £20 million player. Yeah, but as I'd say again, mate, price doesn't necessarily give us the whole story here. Andy Robertson was an £8.5 million player. He's absolutely amazing. So sometimes price doesn't tell us everything. There are bargains to be had out there. Now, they're not always there, and you won't always get them right, because as a club, we've certainly taken a gamble on a few players that haven't worked. I'm thinking more here before Jurgen Klopp. We earned 500 million this year. I don't think that's true, mate. I think I could be wrong, but I think some people got numbers mixed up and thought that there was 251 million, and then there was money from Champions League, and then there was something else. I don't know if we did bring in 500 million this year, but then again, I can't necessarily 1000% say that we didn't either. Craig Jaden is trolling. Just searched up Liverpool Fernandes on Google. Nothing has happened. Oh, mate, that's why there's mods in the channel. If somebody's coming in spouting nonsense and trolling, that's what the mods are here for. Their job is to boot these people out. Sorry, I can't control the chat as well as read through the comments, buddy. I just can't physically do it. Jace Roberts said, there's still value in the market. If you look at Fornal to West Ham, he looks like a good piece of business, by the way. Sarabia to PSG, plus the reported prices for Ziyech and Fekir. There's quality out there without spending shitloads if we want it. Yes, again, I agree. Jace, while you're still watching, and I know that you're watching me, I'm going away in July for a week, and I was hoping to get a couple of podcasts in the bank before I go away. So if you have any time in your schedule, Jace, over the next, say, 2.5 weeks, in the evenings around 8 o'clock, let me know what works for you, buddy, and if possible, we'll get you on for a pod with Cash or with somebody else or myself, because I feel like we need to do it, buddy. We need to get it done. And also, I was chatting with Drifty. You know Drifty from the Football Banter Show. I'm sure many Liverpool fans know who Drifty is. Drifty's going to come on for a chat as well. I was chatting with him on Twitter. Just have to nail down a date, but going to get him on because it's always lovely to meet other Reds as well who have YouTube channels. So do please go and check out the Football Banter Show if you don't already do it. I'm sure a lot of you probably know about Drifty. So yeah, always great to meet and touch base with Reds. I think I will be, fairly certain, chatting with Mark Goldbridge as well. We're going to try and get Mark on for a chat before the season starts. I'm going to leave it a little bit later in the window so we have a fair idea of what business the clubs have done, and I'll get his opinion on where United are going, where Liverpool are going, and a few other bits and pieces as well. Anything else I need to catch you guys up on? Myself, Brian Morrissey and Dave Henry are recording a podcast on Monday evening, so that will be out and ready for you guys probably towards the end of next week. I don't think there's any other news or little bits and pieces. I've made sure I've taken your feedback and I've made sure that I haven't promoted anything. I haven't shown you guys any freebies or anything over the past few days because I want to try and make sure everybody's happy, and we've actually turned down working with companies because I don't want you guys to feel like we're just holding up saying, look at this thing that we got and look at that thing that we got. But at the same time, again, I just want to reiterate that sometimes we do these things so we can give away stuff, so we can give you guys free shit, and everybody loves free shit. I love free shit. So again, I'm trying to take your feedback on board. Right, what else have we got? No problem, Jace. Thank you very much for that, pal. And don't put yourself under pressure, mate. Whatever works for you, whenever you get a window, we'll work around it. What else have we got here? Liverpool's revenue in 2018, 515 million. I'm sure this year is better. Well, then there you are. Well, then absolutely spot on. You're right. This year will be better. Expressions. I haven't actually spoke to Expressions. I'm sure Expressions will come back on for a chat. I was trying to be nice because obviously with us beating Spurs in the Champions League final, I didn't want to be pestering Expressions to get him on. I wanted to just let him be. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get Expressions on for a chat as well. Yeah, there's another thing that I can't really talk about yet because I'm waiting to confirm a few things. But yeah, there's a few irons in the fire for the channel. Let's put it that way. What the hell have we got? How many subs are we aiming for tonight? Never really have an aim, mate, to be honest. Unless, of course, we're approaching a milestone, in which case we do try and push. But yeah, no, never really have an aim for subs. If people hit the button, they hit the button. If they don't, they don't. It's great just having people on watching. I really want Anfield Agenda merchandise, said Varun. It's weird, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's we will have some eventually, but I just hate selling shit. I hate trying to push shit down people's throats because I don't care about that type of stuff. I don't give a shit about money. The channel needs to be viable, let's put it that way, and it is as things stand. But yeah, we will get some stuff, mate, but it's just not our way. We even scrap Patreon and all because we don't want people feeling like we're trying to get money out of them. Same with merchandise and stuff. We will do a few bits and pieces, but when the time's right, and when we get a bit bigger as well. So Fernandes news, true, or if you're talking about the stuff from him turning down us to go to United, I've no idea if he's going to United or not, but I have no news from Liverpool on Bruno Fernandes. What else we got? What's your all-time favourite comedy celebration? For me, it's Robbie Fowler and the White Line. Yeah, that one was really good. I would add to that Luis Suarez jumping in front of David Moyes. Do you remember against Everton? Like he was diving. That was one of my favourites as well. That was a pretty good celebration. I love this channel. It's much more humble than Redmen TV. Well, look, I won't say anything bad about another channel, mate. Redmen TV do great stuff, but I'm glad that you enjoy our channel, mate. That makes me very happy. Thank you. Any news on True Geordie? No, Joanne, not a dicky bird, mate. Not a dicky bird. He'll see us eventually and we'll get invited on, I hope. If not, so be it. That's life. Sepp Vandenberg wants to be a legend. Love him already, said Tom Jones. Yeah, you can see how happy he is describing Liverpool as the biggest club in the world. I mean, I was loving him on me immediately as soon as he said that. Money's very useful. Yeah, it is. We all like a bit of money. Craig, I just had the away shirt with Henderson on the back. He deserves it. Nice one. Yeah, I'd a couple of seasons ago. I very rarely get a name on a shirt. Last year I got the purple one with Nabil Keita on it, but the only other name I've had was Henderson on a home shirt. So yeah, well in, nice one. European Cup winning captain, I should add, Jordan Henderson. Do you think Kai Havertz would be a good fit? Yes, but everything that I've read suggests he's going to stay at Leverkusen for another year. And I don't know if it's a done deal, but seems to be very strong suggestions that he'll move on to Bayern Munich after that. Beautiful pick of Klopp at the European Cup. I know, Connor keeps saying to me, what image do you want tonight for the show? And I keep saying to him, nah, just leave Klopp at the European Cup, mate, because I like looking at that. We had Michael Edwards last night for a bit of a shake-up, but look at him there. El Jurg with the big ears. God bless him. Firmino's eye patch celebration was a really good one as well. What? Yeah, this is a good question, by the way. Good way to finish up tonight's stream. What are your favourite celebrations that you've seen from Liverpool players? Roberto, we did speak about that YouTuber that passed away in New York, mate, the other night, and obviously our thoughts are with his family and stuff. It was a terrible tragedy, and we try not to really discuss stuff like that too much because people come in here to have fun, relax, and kind of forget about life's miseries at times. But you do have to mark these events, mate, and you do have to show respect where it's due. And it was very sad to hear. I didn't know about that YouTuber's channel personally because I'm not a massive watcher of YouTube, but very sad indeed. And of course, our thoughts are with his family and his subscribers, of course. So I'm sure we'll very much miss interacting and seeing him every day. Just had the Mirror article show up my Google suggestions. Lyon have turned down Spurs' 40 million bid for Ndombele and want €80 million, which is £72 million. This is a bit weird, isn't it, John? Because I seen something a little bit similar, mate. Was it Jean-Michel Aulas? Did he come out and say that there's no agreement with Spurs? We'd seen stories breaking everywhere that Spurs had agreed a 62 or 65 million pound deal for Ndombele with Lyon. And then I'm sure I seen something earlier on that Jean-Michel Aulas, who we know only too well is a pain in the ass. We gave him a special nickname last year. That he's coming out now and saying no deal, which isn't great. If you're a Spurs fan, that's not what you want to be hearing. But if you're a Spurs fan watching, trust me, Aulas is a pain in the arse to deal with. But then again, you guys get no sympathy because you have Daniel Levy and he is just as big a pain in the ass. What else we got? Shaqiri said Alban, Daniel Sturridge's celebration. That's a great celebration. That's one thing I'm definitely going to miss about Daniel Sturridge. Same with Peter Crouch and the robot. I love that one as well. Anfield Agenda, are you Connor? Yes, Connor is the one typing from the Anfield Agenda account in the chat there. It's not me. They agreed 65 million. That's what was broken, Adam. Yeah, absolutely. But then something did come out and say, Jean-Michel Aulas did come out and say there was no agreement, I think. David Newell said Fowler sniffing the white line. What else we got? Yes, I do mean Johnny Cunty Lux, Evan. That was the nickname. I was just waiting to see who remembered it. Why was Troll the Nation's comment removed? All he said was, Pepe read, check the Liverpool site for a piece from the Express and then tell me I'm trolling. I don't understand why his comment was removed. It seems like a very... And then he was timed out, mate. Why? There's no need for him to be timed out. I don't think he did anything wrong there whatsoever. Yeah, sorry, I don't think he should have been timed out for that. He was just pointing something out. Bellamy swinging a golf club, that was a good one as well. Very good. The nutter with the putter, that was a good celebration, alright. Do you think Klopp said splash the cash, he meant 20 million? I don't know, Luke. I honestly don't know, mate. I think the whole thing about splashing the cash was kind of a little bit out of context, I think. When's Drifty coming on? I'm not sure. I haven't nailed down I was only like chatting to him on Twitter earlier on about it, Aaron. But soon enough, I'd imagine whenever he's free time, we'll get him on. I'm usually very easy about stuff like this. I can get someone on whenever they're available. We can usually fit them in, like, so it'll be whenever he has some time. But yeah, it's lovely. I mean, I only got to know Drifty really over the past month or so on Twitter, and he's a very nice guy. And I love reaching out and meeting out with other Reds as well. I mean, the difference that I've noticed when I was in podcasts and when we did podcasts, this could have just been my experience with it, by the way. I found it a bit more of a closed off community, maybe because it's not as open as YouTube is in with comments and stuff. But when we came to YouTube, it was immediately, you know, chatting with other Reds, chatting with other channels, and it was a much more friendly, open environment where everybody's happy to kind of give each other a little bit of a helping hand or give each other some tips and stuff, which was great. So yeah, it's going to be great to get to have a chat with Drifty and see how he's feeling about the summer and of course about the season. How long are the timeouts? 300 seconds, I think, is, so what's that, 5 minutes? I think we're just waiting for the Neymar/Griezmann deals to happen so the transfer domino effect can take place, said Jack's page. He was spamming and telling lies. Well, I don't think that he was, mate. Not from what I've seen. The comments that I read, and of course Brian Morrissey has the say on this, he just seemed like he was pointing out an article from the Echo that is in the Echo, or apparently in the Echo rumour section. I don't think he was spamming at all, to be fair. Moreno celebration will always be the best. Moreno? I don't even remember what his celebration was. What time do the streams start every night? 9:30, Jonathan. Sometimes they go to 9:45 if there's something on that makes us push it back. Like if there's a big game on that we know everybody will be watching that started at 8 o'clock, we'll sometimes push it back. But usually about 9:30, and we finish up at about 11:15. What else we got? When I say 9:30, by the way, I mean UK and Irish time. Sorry, I know a lot of people watching in Europe and stuff, which would be an hour ahead. Why was my other account censored? Like, am I expected to know what your other account was, mate? Sorry, I have no idea. I've no idea what your other account is, mate, or what the situation was. So sorry, I'll need a bit more information than that. Would you try get Matt, Drifty's friend, on the channel? I don't know him, Aaron. I just know Drifty, mate, from our interactions on Twitter. But if he's part of Drifty's channel, he's his mate. Why not? Absolutely. I'm up for having any Liverpool fans on, mate. We're a community on here. The more opinions and voices we can get, the better. Oh, your Troll the Nation account. Yeah, I've already spoken up about that one, mate. I fully agree that you shouldn't have been. I don't understand. You were timed out. You weren't banned. And it wasn't me that did it. And I agree with you. I don't think you should have been banned. And you'll be back in probably 2 or 3 minutes. So I apologise, mate, because I don't think you should have been. So, but look, as I said, this is the thing about mods. What I might find offensive, somebody else wouldn't. It is like VAR at times. It's just a little bit down to personal opinion. And nobody does things out of spite. Mistakes are made. But we always try and correct them if they are. What else have we got? Is the third kit confirmed? The leaked one. I haven't seen it confirmed, Darren. I've been looking, mate, myself to wait and see. I imagine it probably won't be too much longer before it will be revealed. Well, we kind of know what it is, but yeah. Mate, look, you're commenting over and over and over again. We've told you what happened. We've told you that in a minute or so your account will be back. So, you know, relax. Okay, now you're just fucking annoying me. Now you're gone. I don't care, man. Now you're just being a dickhead, mate, honestly. Mark, whatever about the other ones, mate, I can see the amount of comments he's put in on this, and he's just a pain in the arse. So he is spamming like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 comments that I can read there in the past 20 comments. So you were being given a chance, but now you can just piss off. Drifty, like Matt, make good content. Yeah, they do. Very good. And he seems like a really good lad as well. I'm glad you guys are looking forward to him coming on. It's going to be a pleasure to have a chat with him. By the way, Mark Obridge on the channel would be good banter discussing it. Oh, he will be. Veroni will be, mate. I've done a couple of things with Mark this season already. When we played United, I went on the United stand. He came on here, and then again for the next game. And I'm gonna get Mark on towards the end of the summer, and then we're gonna do stuff together. I think when United play Liverpool this season as well. I've always said Mark's been very good to us. He's always there giving advice and stuff. It's just such a shame he's a mank. Well, when I say mank, I mean he supports United, because he's a nice fella. Just a shame he picked his club so wrong. My cousins were Liverpool fans during school. Loads of their mates grew up as Manchester United fans. Yeah, I'm from a family, well, my extended family, that's kind of more United than Liverpool, and thankfully I've seen the light. How many years has the channel been running? 1, David. We're coming into our 15th month now making videos, buddy. So we've had 1 full season. Pictures of Aaron Wan-Bissaka in a United kit coming out. Well, to be expected, to be fair. He was supposed to be really, no, what's the word I'm looking for? Unveiled tomorrow. His medical was finished today. I have a conspiracy theory, no big signs this year and Mbappe next year. Yeah, I'm not too far behind you then, if I'm being honest. Although I don't know if I'm being a little bit optimistic on that one. What else we got? Pods are definitely a closed community in my experience, said Jay. Since stopping doing them, I notice attitudes changing. I still enjoy listening to some though. Love the interactive element to your streams. It was a game changer for us, Jace, going on to YouTube, just because, as you know yourself, when you make podcasts, you put them out into the world and you hope people like them, but you don't get much feedback other than the numbers of who's listening and who's watching. But even at that, at times, it comes down to how much you can get people to know about your pods. And it seems to be a closed community, but this has been so much different. I mean, so much more chill since we've gone onto YouTube. I'm so happy Connor talked me into going to YouTube. Sporting announced 3 new players tonight. Does this mean Bruno is done? I think Bruno Fernandes is going no matter what. It looks like the United probably, but I mean, yeah, that was always going to happen, I think. Douglas Ames Horn said the 3rd kit is to be released in July at some point. Sam Haas said Mark Drift, the expressions Boovy and Have Hope would be great collabs. United, Liverpool, Spurs, Manchester City fans, this point of views. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You want to make these contacts. You want to, and of course I'd include Boya as well. Let's not forget about our friend Leicester City FC Boya, and of course as well. Who else am I thinking? Sorry, I'm trying to think of another person as well. Lee Chappie as well, another Leicester City account. All people that I hope to have on as the season goes on. It's a great community on this stream, great banter and opinions. It's only great because of the comments, mate. No comments, the stream falls on its arse. Do you know what I mean? I just read out comments and give an opinion, so it's you guys that make the channel what it is. Right, look, on that, ladies and gents, a couple more minutes and then we will call it a night. I'm not here tomorrow night. I just want to reiterate that. Not here tomorrow night. It was my wife's birthday, as you know, on Tuesday, and we're going to a comedy show tomorrow night, so I won't be here tomorrow night. So there'll be no stream tomorrow night, but we'll be back on Saturday. I do apologise for that, but you know what? Shit's got to happen. The wife has got to be taken care of, do you know what I mean? So, do you ever wish we had Coutinho last season? Nope, because not having Coutinho enabled us to strengthen the squad. What else we got? Just when I remembered the grotesque white suits our players before the 96 Cup final. Yeah. They were they Armani suits as well or something? They were like high-end suits. Enjoy your night out with Sabrina, said Willow. She deserves it. She absolutely does. And I'm really looking forward to it as well because I really like Reginald D. Hunter. He's very funny. Would I ever do a meetup in Dublin? Yes, we're going to be doing some stuff this season with the Irish Cop, where we are going to be travelling around different supporters clubs and doing meetups and watch-alongs and stuff like that. So, yeah, there'll be a few bits and pieces, mate, no doubt, around Ireland as the season goes on. I don't know anything, Luke, about what's happening with Manchester City and FFP. I'd just seen what you guys had seen, that apparently there'll be a European ban coming at some point. Who are we going to see? Reginald D. Hunter, Christine. Every time we go out, it's always to a comedy show because that's what we like to do. Right, look, ladies and gents, am I doing watch-alongs of the pre-season games? I hope so, Joel, yes. It depends. I'm a lazy fucker, so it depends how early in the day they are. But if they're after like 1 in the afternoon, then yeah, we'll be doing them. Enjoy your evening off. Thank you. Right, my voice is gone. I'm going to have to call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, as always, for your amazing input, your time, and the fun that we had tonight. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to hit a thumbs up. Again, won't be here tomorrow, so don't freak out. We'll be back on Saturday at 9:30. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Love to your families as always. Take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking 6 times European Cup winning Reds.